dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:32 on this Thursday, May the 16th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. Well, it's actually warmer outside than it is in this studio because it's freezing in here like it is every morning that we come in. But that's only because it's been relatively chilly outside too. So let's bring Brandon in this morning, and he's going to tell you you're going to want to live in the moment today because after today, you're going to wish that you were back in winter.
Unless you love hot and humid weather, but you and I don't. I know that for a fact. So hopefully somebody out there will enjoy it because it's coming, and it's coming quickly as we head into the next few days. Let's take a look at the cameras this morning. Buffalo Mountain, as you head out the door this morning, a few clouds hovering around, but the skies will clear gradually today, and we'll see those sunny skies appear. Wouldn't expecting this much cloud cover. The satellite radar basically showing just a few high clouds, but again, we'll keep watching it. A little fog over the Mountain Parkway this morning. You can see it kind of hovering there in the distance, and then you see the satellite radar where we're not seeing a whole lot of activity, at least not there, showing up anyway. Temperatures 40s across the valleys, some 50s on those ridge tops there. The warmest spot in the region is 56 at London, the coolest spot 45 in Middlesboro, just down the road. So temperature change from yesterday, anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees, about 12 degrees warmer there in London. So coffee meter, it's a normal day once again. So get out there and enjoy it. 12-hour planner. We're going to see temperatures climb into the upper 70s later on. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, President Trump is taking another shot at immigration reform, trying to revamp legal immigration and the green card system. But as CBS's Mark Liverman reports, there are indications it may end up going nowhere.
Speaking at the Peace Officers Memorial Service on Capitol Hill Wednesday, President Trump hammered what he says is congressional inaction on illegal immigration.
Not one more American life should be lost because our lawmakers failed to secure our borders.
Today at the White House, he'll lay out a new plan, one that overhauls legal immigration.
I don't think most countries are giving us their finest.
This proposal is spearheaded by the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, as opposed to recent failed plans by immigration hardliner Stephen Miller. It creates a merit-based approach that assigns immigrants points, similar to Canada and other countries. More green cards would go to those with high-level skills, degrees, and job offers. Young people and English speakers would also have an advantage. Family ties carry less weight, and it eliminates the diversity visa lottery.
I'm not encouraged. I hate to say that.
The plan faces an uphill battle, even with Republicans.
It's a tough issue. Like I said, we'll see how it plays out, but it's a good faith effort on their part.
And it's unlikely to receive much Democratic support.
Donald Trump is clearly more interested in creating a political mess to amplify his own electoral agenda, as opposed to trying to solve our broken immigration system.
The president's proposal does nothing to help DACA recipients, and it calls for more border wall construction. Mark Liverman, CBS News.
Now, the president will deliver his address from the White House Rose Garden this afternoon. The Transportation Security Administration plans to move some of its officials to the border. Agency officials say hundreds of workers will start helping with migrant inflows at the southern border just as the summer travel season is starting. Many of them will likely come from airports through the TSA, says no uniformed airport screeners will move. Well, tensions continue to increase between the United States and Iran this morning. Officials say it is highly likely Iranian combat divers used explosives to blow holes in the hulls of tankers anchored just outside the Persian Gulf. None of the vessels were American, but the U.S. has an interest in keeping the Gulf open to shipping. Leaders have already sent an aircraft carrier and B-52 bombers to the region and has threatened to retaliate against Iran for an attack on America or its interests. Now, the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad has ordered all non-emergency staff and their families to leave Iraq immediately as Washington ramps up pressure on neighboring Iran. U.S. officials tell CBS News there is still no sign Iran is backing off apparent plans to attack Americans in the region. President Trump has dismissed a report his security team is reviewing a plan to send 100,000 U.S. troops to confront Iran if necessary. Meanwhile, American travelers planning to visit Venezuela will have to wait. The Department of Homeland Security suspended all commercial and cargo flights between the countries Wednesday. The State Department cites safety concerns amid escalating tensions with Venezuela as the reason for the decision. There is no timetable for when the flights will resume. Well, let's get back here at home. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey has signed the most restrictive abortion ban in the nation Wednesday. It would make performing an abortion at any stage of pregnancy a felony, punishable by up to 99 years or life in prison. There would be no punishment for the woman receiving the abortion. The Alabama Senate passed the measure Tuesday. The House approved it in April. A new study shows if parents simply locked up all their guns, then up to 1/3 of gun suicides and accidental deaths among children and teens could be avoided. The study was published in a recent edition of the journal JAMA Pediatrics. It analyzed home gun ownership data from 2015. That year, guns injured nearly 14,000 minors and were involved in the deaths of another 2,800. In other news this morning, the 2 suspects in the Colorado school shooting were charged in court yesterday. The same day, the parents of the teen who was killed in the attack paid tribute to their son. Hundreds of Jeeps in lines, two deep, stretched along a roadway in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. They joined a motorcade with the hearse carrying the body of STEM school senior Kendrick Castillo. Kendrick's father talked about his only child.
To carry on his life's message, we need to be more like him. That's what this world needs for change.
Castillo is being hailed a hero for charging one of the suspects in his classroom last week. 18-year-old Devitt Erickson was charged with murder, attempted murder, and other crimes. The second suspect, 16-year-old Alec McKinney, was also in court. Both teenage suspects will be tried as adults. Another hearing is set for June 7th. A fallen Pikeville police officer secured a permanent place in America's history Wednesday. President Trump addressed a crowd of family, friends, and colleagues of the 158th Peace officers who died in the line of duty last year. That includes Pikeville's own Scotty Hamilton, who lost his life when a man shot him in March 2018. Police Chief Chris Edmonds says the service and etching of Hamilton's name into the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial is a fitting tribute.
It just brings back all the memories. But, you know, it's a wonderful thing to see the honor that's been given to him. For him to be able just to see all this right here at one time just would have been amazing to him, you know, and I'd love for him just to be able to see it.
Hamilton is survived by his wife and infant daughter. His name is one of 638 from Kentucky on the walls of the memorial to fallen peace officers dating back to 1845. Louisville Police Detective Deidre Mengadote was also honored at yesterday's service in Washington. Last Christmas Eve, she was killed by a suspected impaired driver while sitting in her patrol car. One of her supervisors says since her death, many are reaching out to the department to talk about what a difference she made in their lives.
So after she passed, we even had people come by the division and tell us how great she was. We had one lady come by and told us that she had purchased her a Christmas tree. It was nice to have them come back and tell us how she had touched their lives.
Mengadote served on the force for 7 years. She leaves behind a 10-year-old son. Another Kentucky officer was also added to the fallen officers memorial yesterday. Philip Meacham from the Hopkinsville Department was shot and killed while helping another officer go after someone impersonating a police officer back in late March of 2018. His friend stopped by the memorial to reflect on the great loss to the community.
He was a great cop. He was a great friend. Would do anything for you, and we miss him. We miss him a lot.
Meacham had only served with the Hopkinsville Police Department for 1 year. Before that, he spent 12 years with the Christian County Sheriff's Office. He leaves behind a wife, a daughter, and his parents. Well, it's 6:41 on this Thursday. Let's send it on over to Brandon, who's going to tell us today will be nice, but the rest of the week, not so much.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more hot and humid over the next couple of days, even through the weekend into early next week. But again, the problem we're dealing with this morning, a few more clouds than expected. So hopefully those will start to clear out here before too long. Live pinpoint Doppler radar, nice and quiet. No moisture to track for us today. So it may look a little dreary this morning, but no rain coming from those clouds. Looking at 46, Harlan, Middlesboro, or 48 down in Jacksboro. Some folks still climbing there this morning. 56 in London, up from 55 a little earlier. Lots of 50 showing up across parts of the ridge temperatures there. Valley locations a little cooler. Bowling Green 53, Paducah 58, Tri-Cities at 50, Cincinnati at 47 this morning. Your out-the-door forecast, we are going to feature again sunny skies later this afternoon, later today. A nice day ahead with temperatures in the upper 70s. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you, sir. Straight ahead, we will have stories that are trending on WYMT.com. As always, thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. One of those stories is a farmer in Nebraska made a drastic decision to save his own life when he accidentally stepped into a grain auger last month.